Hey, Layla, what the heck is this? You think that just because you are busy with work, you can give us your responsibilities? There is no way I'm going to continue letting you get away with this just because my parents are allowing it. Hello, Shay. I haven't been trying to leave you guys with any of my responsibilities. What's wrong? How am I and your parents involved in anything that has to do with you right now? Don't lie to me. This is what makes you a lowlife. You think you can just act stupid, which I know you are, all in order to go out and work and have fun while I have to be at home with this kid because my dad told me so. What? Lowlife? Kid? I knew about how you had been raised in a foster home and all that, and know nothing about raising a child and having a functional family. But what the hell are you doing, pushing your own kid off onto some stranger while you run off to do other things? If you're going to keep doing things like that, then you shouldn't have any kids. I wish my brother would have known better than this before he made you his wife. I have no idea what you're going on about right now. How could I be pushing my daughter off onto you when... Stop trying to make excuses for it. I already knew that you'd end up a useless person, and perhaps you don't want to trouble your kid with being such a waste of everyone's time and effort. That's really what I hope your reasoning is for handing her over to my family and I. But to think you'd go this far to get your child away from you? Why can't you just be an actual human and mom and take care of the things you've made? You quit that right now. What do you think you're doing leaving me on red? Hurry up and come get your kid. I am tired of having to sit here all day waiting for you to come and get her. You seem to be getting really worked up over something right now. And so far, you haven't given me any good explanation of the situation besides that you have my kid right now and that I should be a better parent. So I was thinking to wait for you to calm down before we talk some more. Now tell me, what are you talking about right now? Don't play dumb. You think that by having your kid go over to your in-laws, there wouldn't be any issues? Both my mom and dad are old, and when it comes to my husband and I, we have things of our own going on. He has to work all the time, and I have to make sure all the chores and things like that are complete before he gets home. With the way things are right now, I can't deal with this kid. I have been forced so many times now to take on your child over here, even when I tell my dad that I don't want to. Are you seriously going to leave your kid over at this house for the whole summer now? This place is not some daycare, so you cut all that out right now. Come and get them, or else I'm going to take them back over to your house and leave them there. If you're talking about my child, she is sleeping right next to me. I don't even have any memory of the last time I took her to your parents' house, or even your house to have her stay for the day. What? Then, whose kid is this? I had been thinking for a little bit now that everything you were saying made no sense to me. That has to be someone else's child, right? Maybe there was some confusion in what your dad told you and the kid is actually one of his friends' grandkids or something like that? That can't be. He would never do something like that for one of his friends when they have families of their own to get help from. You're just trying to make up even more lies in order to keep your kid over at my place. What? Wait, hold on. My kid is really here at home with me. I can send you a picture of them with me right now to prove it. This is screwed up. I was told that this kid is yours, and that's why we're having to take care of them. You idiots really have nothing better to say besides excuses. I want you to get your kid out of my face here soon, or else I will start to act out. Eric, do you have a moment to chat?
Hello, Layla. What's going on with you?
I just heard from Shay a little bit ago that she is having to take care of my kid. But I'm not too sure how that could be, considering my kid is back here at my house right now sleeping. After hearing about all of that, I wanted to check with you about what's all going on. She told me you forced her to take care of the kid, so perhaps there was some kind of misunderstanding here?
About that, huh? I'm sorry. Your mother-in-law's legs aren't the best, so I asked that she take care of the kid for a little while.
But, Eric, that kid isn't even mine. I'm totally fine with you having your daughter take care of the kid for you, but don't tell her that that's my daughter she has right now.
What?
Like I said, my daughter is with me right now sleeping, so there's no way that girl Shay has right now is mine. So what's going on here?
That's right. I'm sorry. I'm getting old, so perhaps my memory isn't all that great. We must have made the mistake of which grandchild that is.
You mistook which grandchild that is? Back during my daughter's field day, you came out to see her, and you shouldn't have any other grandchildren besides my daughter. Also, aren't you still doing well enough to not be making mistakes like that? How were you able to mix up whose grandchild you had that badly? Wait, you only have one grandchild right now, Eric.
What? No, that's,
Are you hiding something from me right now? I'm at a loss, and I need answers to all this before I become any more confused. If you're not going to give me the truth right now, Eric, then I'm going to your wife about all this. Her legs might not work the best anymore, but at least she can tell the difference between kids and knows that she only has one grandchild.
Alright. Don't say anything about this to my wife, please. Okay? The truth isn't going to be pretty.
Again, with this frickin' kid! I can't deal with this any longer. I've come back to your house and I am going to toss them in your yard right now. Then they can sit out there all day long and play in the hot sun until you come out of that house and actually do something with your child. What? Out in this hot summer sun? It's almost 100 degrees out today and you're just going to leave them out there? Of course. They're not my child after all, so why should I have to care about their health any? Just know that whatever ends up happening to them is all your fault, since you're being such a terrible mother. I have told you so many times now that that's not my kid. Whoever you're doing all of that to has nothing to do with me, and you need to realize that before something really bad happens. Shut up! I have all the proof I need that this is your kid. So there's not one thing you could say to me that would get me to believe otherwise. Could you just calm down for me, please? I understand that you're really upset right now, but don't start harming that child over this. They really don't have anything to do with what's happened. Don't tell me what to do. I'm not going to take any of that crap from someone who never had any parents of their own and had to be raised in a foster home. Just because you never liked being in a foster home doesn't mean you can push your kid off onto me to handle. You are so messed up. I get that you have no idea how to raise a child because you never grew up in a family that actually cared for you, but you cannot force your child into a situation like this, you defective human. What the hell is going on with you, Layla? Making fun of me because I was a foster child? You think there's something wrong with me when you're the one tearing someone down because of a past they couldn't control. I get that you don't like me for the person I am, but all of those hurtful comments are ridiculous. You're the lowlife if you can't even learn to listen to what others are telling you and have to make them feel bad instead. So just listen to me. I know that there has been some kind of misunderstanding here. I know that because I know what's happening, but I don't want to hurt you or anyone else by telling you. What are you going to tell me that I don't already know, you loser? Even after all I've gone and said to you, you're still going to push that kid off onto me? I've been telling you over and over again now that they are not mine. A lowlife in your position has no right to talk to me like that. I know that this kid is yours. You can lie all you want about that, but I know the truth. And if you want me to prove that to you, this kid is wearing some really cheap clothing and they have no manners at all. They just run around all day long screaming and breaking things in my house. They are the worst child I've ever laid my eyes on. You really have no idea at all how to raise a child, do you, you foster child? My girl is a very wonderful girl, and at a private kindergarten she's going to right now, she is praised by both her teacher and a lot of the other moms there. They tell me she's like an adult in a 5-year-old's body sometimes, okay? So don't you ever say that my daughter would be a troublemaker like the girl you're with. Huh? Did you just say private? That's what I said. My baby girl goes to a private kindergarten right now. I told you all about that a while back, right? Ah, so this is why you continue to think that kid is mine. You've been judging who their parents are based on the clothes they wear and their manners. Of course I have been. A lowlife like you would never be able to afford anything more than the cheapest options. It's insane that you'd think I'd fall for a lie about your child going to a private school. I mean, having been a foster child, making money these days must be so difficult for you, right? Right now, my husband and I own and run a cafe together. It has been very popular on social media, and every day the place is packed, making it a very difficult yet rewarding job for us. What? Lion is the name of our cafe. We have a lot of followers online, so go and have a look at the place yourself. There really is a place called Lion. Is that you in the picture of the cafe? That's because I run the place, so of course I'll be in some of the photos. Of course my daughter isn't in any of those photos, though. So because your cafe is always so busy, you're having me take care of your kid, right? During this part of the summer, it is exceptionally busy here, and so we make sure to have more staff on hand since one of us has to be home with our girl. So don't think that we would just be pawning her off right now while we both only focused on our business. Sometimes only having one of us here can be tough, but we'd rather have it that way in order to keep our daughter from being lonely. There have to be times when one of you can't be home for her, right? That's true. And at times like that, we have to end up asking your parents to take her for a day or two. But we make sure to plan that all out in advance, and she is only there during the day until one of us is back home. And while she is over there, she would never cause the kind of chaos that child you have right now causes. She's been raised well enough now that she'll apologize if she were to be responsible for breaking something. There is no way you could raise a child like that as a lowlife. I may come from a foster home, but there are plenty of very famous people who have had the same upbringing as me. The fact that you are judging all of us based off that one fact is terrible. And I hate to have to bring this up, but I am making way more money than you are right now. Then, who the hell's kid is this? This brat seems just like you, causing all sorts of trouble for others without a care in the world for their mental health. There is no way this kid is anyone's besides yours. Well, about that. That happens to be your dad's secret lover's grandkid who he's been trying to hide. My dad's secret lover's grandkid? In the past, your dad cheated on your mom. At that time, they both then ended up making a baby together, and after that, he'd been doing his best to pay for them, through child support and things like that. But after a few decades, that kid then ended up having a baby herself and expected your dad to take care of it for her. So he listened and started to help take care of his grandkids, but in order to not let any of you guys learn the truth, he said the kid was mine, and then had you care for them. Which means that right now, you are taking care of his secret daughter's child. What? Huh? What the? This kid is his secret lover's child's child? Sort of like a hidden grandchild. Although that's a bit strange to say. I cannot believe this. There's no way something like that has happened. I've just been telling you the truth. You should have a word with your dad about this now. I've already spoken with him myself, and this is all what he told me. Your dad was asked to help with his other grandchild, and for a bit, he took them on with your mother. But in order to not let her find out the truth, he started asking you to take care of them for him. That's how things have ended up like this. Your dad ended up forgetting all about the fact that my daughter goes to a private school and forgot about her face as well, causing him to think that child was mine over time. Honestly, the fact that he mixed her up with whatever child you have now is a little bit disheartening for me. That's what happened? Shay, I can totally understand how you feel right now, having had a kid pushed off onto you for a while now. It really is tough having to raise a child. And when it comes to someone like you who has never had to raise a child before, this is your first time going through all of that. But even still, some of the things you've been doing and saying are not okay. Everything you've done to me up until now will not be forgiven. I don't need you forgiving me for any of this. I'm the victim after all. So quit it with all that crap about how I'm in the wrong here. What the hell are you trying to do by telling my husband all those things? This isn't about what I've said to him, but about all those things that you've been doing to that child who isn't even yours. I had to go and talk with him about how things have been going down there at your house. Just the other day, you left that kid in my yard all day under the scorching sun as though that was perfectly okay. I had to talk with him about that, all right? I was starting to worry about that child's safety. I was just doing all those things to them because I thought they were your child. So you're telling me that if it were mine, it would be okay to do whatever you wanted to them? Shut your mouth! And another reason I left them in your yard that day is because you were home. And there happened to be some shade in your yard, so it wouldn't have gotten that hot out for them. Are you not embarrassed to be making such a huge deal out of this? And one last thing, why didn't you tell me earlier that that wasn't your child? You never said anything to me like that, so you're just as much to blame as I am. God, I told you from the start that my daughter was already at home with me. I never heard that. How about this then? Why were you talking with my dad about things like his secret grandchild and crap? You have nothing to do with this family, so you don't get to tell me I'm wrong or right for what I've done to that kid. I wouldn't have to be involved in any of this if you had just listened to me and left me alone, Shay. But I do not want that child to have to suffer anymore for something those that need to take care of them are doing. Have you forgotten that I was involved in all sorts of suffering due to my parents? I understand what it's like to be hurt by those that should be looking out for me. Just like you've done to that kid. And it's not just the kid that's been hurt now, but their parents as well. Huh? Why would they be hurt? Had those parents actually taken care of their child in the first place, then none of this would have ever happened. After talking to that family about what happened to their kid, they were so upset by it and they went and apologized to them. She was just hoping for her dad to take care of her child for a bit, but he went and left her child with you, and then you put the child through some very serious circumstances. I get that you hated the idea of having that child pushed onto you, and that you were upset from all of that. But that does not make for a good enough reason to ever cause harm like that to a kid who isn't even yours. What you did was not okay. You need to learn from what you've done and make some changes to yourself. Stop messing around. Why the hell did you get my husband involved now? Because you would never listen to me. I was able to talk with him about everything that's been going on with you. Because of that, he's now working on fixing everything you've done. If you actually had any common sense in you, then you would have never gone and done the things you did to that child or me. He told me that we might have to get a divorce now because of this. I'm the victim in all of this. It's my dad who should be the one facing punishment for all this. I was just lied to.
Layla, what the heck did you think you were doing? What you've done is going to tear this family apart. Are you not embarrassed by what you've done to us?
So you're going to start with the same thing your daughter's been going on about? Honestly, I don't even blame Shay for everything because the cause of all that's happened is your cheating. You were the one that went out years and years ago with another woman and made a baby with her.
And I wanted to keep all that a secret. Now that you've taken what I've told you and made a big deal out of it, a lot of people in this family are being hurt. Doing something like that shows that you have no conscience. And makes me worry about the kind of person you really are. You are far too old now to be saying things as dangerous as you have to my daughter and her husband. Why couldn't you have kept that a secret with me?
I haven't done a single thing wrong here. And I like to think all that's happening within your family right now is what you asked for.
No! All of this pain my family is being put through right now is your fault. It's because of you making such a huge deal out of everything that my daughter found out I cheated long ago. My wife and I had been doing so well all these years. But after what you've done, even my wife is upset with me now and hurt. Are you even aware of that?
Come on, the reason your wife is upset and hurt right now is because of you. The only one that's been living in peace this whole time has been you because you've gone and lied to everyone.
Excuse me?
Your daughter already told me that you and your wife have not been doing too well recently. The fact that you're not aware of that only adds to all the pain you've caused them. Also, even had I not told anyone about what you'd done, your wife was already starting to catch on.
What?
When I went and told her about what you said to me about your story, she replied by saying she already figured all of that out. I was shocked when I had to realize that she was already ahead of the curve here.
There's no way! If she'd known already, then she would have wanted a divorce or something, right? She never said anything to me. Never said anything at all.
It's not that she didn't, but that she couldn't. Even if she wanted to say something to you about it, you both had 2 kids already, and she didn't have all the evidence yet. All she could do was cry herself to sleep every night, thinking that you had yourself another woman. But, Eric, because of what's happened here, she's been able to learn about the kid you had with that other woman, and that you've been taking on that kid's kid for her. It would be rare for her not to take action against you now after all she's had to learn.
No! She has been with me this whole time because she loved me. You had just gotten to her and made her unhappy with me.
Your daughter was acting just the way you are right now, so I can see where she got that kind of childish behavior from. But the thing is, no matter what either of you try to say and think, you're not going to be changing the reality of the situation here. Your wife was able to have a look at all the child support you've paid and tried to hide from her. And right now, she's even talking with that woman you cheated with, and her daughter. Your wife has now been talking with a lawyer she had around with her for the longest time. And since she now has a good amount of proof that you've cheated on her and have been sending money to that woman for so long now, she can take you to court and get a settlement from you.
She has been at home this whole time, though. She never had any chances to find someone to help with the evidence and talk with a lawyer.
That's true. However, Shay went ahead and gave all that evidence to your wife just the other day.
What?
She did that because she is livid right now. I'm not going to forgive her for any of the things she's done, but she did fall victim to having to take care of that child for you in secret. Or should I say, she was scammed into doing that in a way.
No way. There's no way. I never raised that girl to sell her father out like that.
You never bothered to raise any of your kids in the first place, Eric. You would leave all of that on the shoulders of your wife, and then you would go out and play with that woman the whole time after you finished work. And then, after making a kid with that other woman, you went and kept them a secret from your wife this whole time. Honestly, I want to congratulate you for somewhat making it this far.
Shut the hell up! Shut the hell up, you family-destroying witch!
The family-destroying witch would be you, Eric. I have no clue how you mentally found it okay to hide all of that from your wife and kids, but it must be so much worse to be both your other woman's daughter and her grandchild because they had to grow up without you around them. No father or grandfather around. You went and lied to both parties about yourself, all so that you could continue to be happy and not pay for your sins. You've really gone and done it now by not only ruining one family, but 2 due to your selfishness.
You have no idea what a real family is, so you have no right to talk. Listen to the man who has actually had 2 families that have both loved and supported him.
There is nothing about what you're saying that I should be listening and respecting right now. And you want to know something really heartbreaking about all of this? Your wife has been waiting for years now, hoping that someday you'd open up to her about the truth and ask for her forgiveness. But instead of telling her the truth about having another woman, you went and had a kid with that woman and kept it a secret. She is going through a lot of pain now after feeling almost 3 decades worth of suffering and no longer wants anything to do with you. From now on, you deserve to live life on your own, please.
What? Why are my kids saying they want to cut ties to me now? This all shouldn't change the fact I'm still their father, right?
They want you out of their lives because you are their father. You went and did something completely unthinkable to them, and they are both in shock now. That's how horrible of a person you've been to them.
If they both cut ties to me, I'll be screwed. I won't even be able to see my grandchild anymore, right?
Huh?
You and my son went and had that girl of yours a while back, and it's been so nice having a grandchild around. I don't want to lose them.
I would never let my daughter meet a heartless man such as yourself anymore. The man who has gone and literally hurt everyone in his family, in both his families, needs to go burn in hell now. I'm on your mom's side in this. So that's it between you and I. Goodbye forever, you monster. Shay, the out-of-court settlement has been handled now, right? I heard about that from your mom. What do you want with me now? It's not like I'm happy about anything. I just wanted the money I deserved for having to take care of that woman's, well, I guess my sister-in-law's child. Have you not learned anything at all, though, after what all has happened? Learned anything? About what? About how I went and blamed you for that kid, thinking it was yours that whole time? Well, I was the victim there too then, so I shouldn't have to learn anything. And the reason I'm not happy is because even though my dad is out of the picture now, I'm going to have to take care of my mom now. Because he's gone, she's become my problem. You really are useless and a waste. Why did I have to end up in a position like this because of you? Having to take care of her has left me with no time to myself, and all of this after being forced to take care of a kid that wasn't even a part of this family. I get that you're the victim of some very terrible things due to your dad. But you didn't learn anything from causing harm to a young child like that, thinking they were mine. Just because you were a victim does not give you a free pass to do whatever you'd like. But you're going to be fine now, right? You should be used to taking care of another person by now. Huh? There's no way I know how to take care of my mom. Her legs are totally messed up and her back is hurting her all the time. And due to my dad, her lawyer is coming over to the house quite a lot. That's right. You come over and give me a hand. You're my younger sister-in-law after all. You're not twisted enough to throw away your mom-in-law now, right? No, thank you. Why should I have to go there and help you out? What? Well, you said it yourself, didn't you? Something about how it's messed up for one to force another person to have to take care of their responsibilities, like their child or their mother, perhaps? So I'm going to say the same thing right back to you. Do not have me take care of your own mother for you. That would be messed up. What? You witch! Your mom is already telling me that she doesn't need me to come over there and help you both out. She said she wants to keep relying on you until you've learned both your lesson and become a bit better of a person inside. So because of that, I'm not going to give you a helping hand. I happen to have a kid myself, so I need to be here for her. Then what the hell should I be doing here? I have no one else to ask for help now. Hey, reply to me. Eric ended up having to pay a massive amount in an out-of-court settlement to his wife, and then was completely cut off by everyone in his family. He was then left with their house as his wife moved out and would no longer have anyone around to keep him company anymore. Now he's going to have to work on paying off all the debt he's been left in for the rest of his life, most likely. I've heard about how he's been trying a few times now to get with the other woman he's been cheating with when he was younger, but she herself has a husband now and she won't tell Eric anything about him. He also tried going to the daughter of that woman, hoping that she would start hanging out with him more. Or even allowing him to go and live with her husband and their baby, but they didn't want anything to do with Eric either. She was actually so upset with what he had done to her daughter by handing her off to Shay to care for and abuse to some extent that she ended up cutting ties to him as well. I'm not sure Eric will ever be able to find himself anyone to keep him company again, and should give up on the idea of family in general, since he obviously never had a good enough idea of what one was. When it comes to Shay, her husband ended up creating some borders, telling her that she'd be left in charge of her mother as a way of punishing her for what she'd done to both myself and that little girl. She didn't take this very well at first, cussing him out and even trying to guilt him into helping since this was his mother-in-law. However, just like with me, he said no to all that, and then hit her with the ultimatum that if she didn't care for her mom or tried forcing him to, then he'd divorce her and leave town. With that in mind, she shut up and got on living the life with her mother, having to make food for her mom all the time and clean up after her. With there rarely ever being any time for herself now, and that massive pride she once had being smashed away, she's left on her own having to care for her mother for the rest of her mother's life. Of course, if she ever comes to me and actually apologizes for all the trouble she caused, then I'd be happy to start helping her with her mom. But I'm not so sure that day will ever come. And to be very honest, I hope it doesn't.